Hey Cancer, welcome to your weekly forecast for March 15th through the 21st. This is going to be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you happen to stumble upon this video outside of the dates I mentioned, don't you worry, my darlings. You found it just as you were meant to find it. And if you were led to this video, there's at least one message in here for you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. We're going to see what's coming up here for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the week ahead. Alrighty, my dears. And so your first card here is the Page of Wands, okay? Page of Wands can be feisty energy, okay? I sometimes refer to the Page of Wands as like the second adolescence card. And so when this card comes up in my reading, sometimes someone might feel a little bit restless, might be kind of longing for adventure, wanting to get out there again. You might find that your confidence is coming back to you, like you're feeling cute again, right? Think about like, all right, like there's two sides of being a teenager. There's like the sad, depressed, lock yourself in the room and be alone type of teenager. But then there's also times when there's high confidence and, like the world is fresh and new, the world is your oyster, and there's all these things you want to do, and you're finding yourself, and like life is new and exciting. So that's the kind of teenage energy I'm talking about. So a lot of you might be reinventing yourself, or you lost yourself along the way and you're finding yourself again. Like you're remembering who you are, you're remembering what you want, and you're going after it. There's like a sense of confidence. The Page of Wands can also sometimes be a word of caution, that as you're moving forward in this new endeavor, you might have friends or people who are encouraging you, but they might be encouraging you to be a little too zealous or a little too adventurous, or a little too bold in the risks that you're taking. So if you are doing something where you're working with a mentor or a teacher or a business partner, or you have friends who are encouraging you on some new kind of project, and they're like, go, yeah, go for it, do it, right? But something inside of you is like, I don't know about this. You have to listen to that, right? Like when you were younger, did you ever had a friend that they always managed to talk you into doing something you shouldn't do, but you would do it and then you'd be in trouble later? Oh, I know I shouldn't have listened to them, right? So sometimes Page of Wands can be, this is not a malicious person. This isn't somebody who wishes for bad things to happen for you, but it could just be somebody who's too optimistic, or somebody who's too spontaneous, and they're not thinking about the consequences, right? So this is especially true if you're doing something with money or finances, right? Maybe someone's encouraging you in some kind of self-employment or some kind of investment, and they're like, yeah, come on, Cancer, go big, go all the way, do it, go for it. Be positive, and good things are gonna happen. You might have to be positive and take the chance, take the investment, but do it in a responsible way. Like ask yourself, if this investment or if this business takes time to start bringing in the money, am I going to be okay not having the money that I put into it? Like if I don't see this money for a while, am I going to get by? Right? So this is the balanced risk taking, right? In a way where we're not setting ourselves up for hardship in the future. So there's this exciting impulsive energy, right? So it's a good idea to hold on to that, right? Take advantage of this new exciting energy, but don't lose the balance in the process. The next card here is the Four of Cups. Okay, now I feel this feisty energy that a lot of you are wanting this adventure. And as you're coming into that energy, you might be looking at your life and you're beginning to see the things that you don't like, the ways that you don't feel fulfilled, and the ways that you don't feel satisfied. If you are a spiritual person watching this, or if you're somebody who's really into the metaphysical, when you start feeling this way, you might be very tempted to try to stop feeling this way. And you might be very tempted to be like, oh my gosh, Cancer, stop being so negative, be positive, this is negative thinking. And so you might be encouraged to, or you might feel you might feel this desire to like not think about those thoughts, or you're seeing it as negative. But for me, the Four of Cups is very much aligned with what Rumi wrote about when he talked about divine discontentment. And it's a part in our spiritual journey when we start to realize that we deserve a lot more than what's in our life. Okay, some of you are having this moment of like fear or worry because you're realizing that the things you're not satisfied with are things that you spent a long time trying to manifest. And now you're like, oh my gosh, like now what do I do, right? Like I asked for this, it finally came, I manifested it, and now I'm being ungrateful for it, so I'm going to end up blocking myself. No, you're not blocking yourself. Acknowledge that feeling that this is unacceptable or that you deserve more, because this is how you come into a healthy sense of entitlement, right? Sometimes we see horrible, terrible people, not that we mean to judge, but sometimes we see horrible, terrible people and they have a great life, right? They have wonderful things happening to them. And you might even feel like, oh, like it's not fair, right? That person is so mean. That person is so selfish. That person is so, character that has so many character flaws. How come they get to have such a great life and then good people really suffer? Well, the thing is that that person has manifested all of that because they feel that they deserve it. They believe wholeheartedly 100% that they're entitled to that life. And the good person is like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. Life is hard, life is suffering, and I'll just, make do, right? We don't want to be too humble. There's such a thing as being too humble or too selfless. So when you're like, well, I wanted this and I manifested it and it's here, but I'm still not satisfied, you may have manifested very bare minimum things. And the best example that I can give you is somebody who says, man, I can't wait to find a job where I get paid every pay period and my boss doesn't yell at me and I don't have to do anything illegal or shady or unethical. Those are like good things to ask for in a job, but they're bare minimum, right? If you are working at a job and you're not getting paid, that's not a job, that's slavery, right? And if you're dealing with a boss who's yelling at you, that's abuse. That's not a work situation, that's an abusive environment. So it's bare minimum, right? It's bare minimum. The same way that we don't give awards to people who manage to walk down the street without punching everybody. That's bare minimum, right? You don't get an award for that. You don't get praise for that. Nobody's going to go, oh my gosh, you know what? You're such a wonderful person because you never hit anybody when you're walking down the street. That's a bare minimum, okay? So when you find yourself feeling this way, know that this is an opportunity for you to raise the bar in what you're calling in, what you're manifesting, because you're realizing that you deserve more. That doesn't mean that you're not grateful, right? You can even take a moment and say, okay, thank you, God, thank you, universe, thank you, angels, for the things that are in my life. Thank you for helping me get to this point, but I'm ready for more. And I thank you. I thank you for helping me with that journey, helping me bringing it in quickly, as effortlessly and as quickly as possible. Your next card here, my dearest, is the Ace of Wands. Okay, so in this energy of not feeling fulfilled, right? Even though you guys are a water sign, there's lots of fire here. You might be longing to do something that you're more passionate about. And some of you may be seeking out things that are exciting, things that are like adventurous. I feel some of you are like I'm seeing like a guitar, like somebody dusting off a guitar and like taking it out of the case and starting to play it again. So maybe you're like, maybe you were in a band back in the day and you're getting the old band back together, or you're putting together a new band, or you're picking up some creative project. Those of you, okay, well, first of all, let me just say, those of you that watch my videos, in the weekly forecast, I try to avoid love and romance, and I do a separate love reading. But I'll just say here real quick, some of you maybe have kind of put dating on the back burner and you're like feeling ready to get out there again. There could be like a root chakra opening up or blocking where you're like looking for that physical connection, or within your existing relationship, you may be trying to kind of get that spark back or fire back, because I feel here that there's this passion. Now, alternatively, those of you who are very disappointed to hear that this isn't a love reading, you might be longing for passion and excitement and chemistry. And the reason why you were led to this reading was to tell you that the way that you're going to manifest that kind of intense, passionate, fiery connection with somebody is to find your fire in terms of the things when you were younger that excited you, that you looked forward to doing, that gave you a boost of confidence, that made you feel, empowered and attractive and feisty, right? And that could have been through creative endeavors, it could have been through interests, it could have been through hobbies, it could have been through music, movies, things that you were, watching or reading at the time. And if you can't remember what it was, try to find pictures of yourself back in that day, or try to think, what were my favorite bands, what songs would I listen to back then, what movies would I watch, what TV shows would I watch, and try to do those things again, like kind of backtrack and do those things again, and it might help you remember. Your next card here, my darlings. Oh, one more thing too here. Some of you might be unsatisfied with an opportunity that came in, because you're feeling like it's not the big break that you were looking for or wanting. But Ace of Wands tells us that this opportunity coming in may start out small, but expand and grow. So don't be quick to dismiss it or to say, you know what, no, that's not enough, no thank you, because it can grow into something significant or substantial. Your next card here, my darlings, is the Four of Pentacles. Okay, now, okay, some of you might have somebody coming at you with a lot of passion, okay, and maybe you're kind of wanting to close off or reserve your energy or wanting your space. Some of you might feel like you're being, like I said, pressured to give more of your time or money or maybe even body more than what you're ready to give. And so the Four of Pentacles could indicate here kind of like being more reserved, right? Like kind of protecting your space, protecting your resources. Some of you have ideas that you're really excited about, but you're worried and concerned that you're not going to have enough money to move forward, or it's not going to make you enough money, okay, to move forward. And the best advice that I can give you about those of you that are wanting to do something like that, like your passion, those of you who are like, oh man, I really wish I could make a living doing what I'm passionate about, but I don't think it's going to bring me enough money, because you're wanting to hurry up and quit a job or leave a job and just do this other thing. The more you put pressure on this passion, on this endeavor to make you money, the less money it's going to make you, because energetically we begin to suffocate it and we're not going to enjoy it anymore. So just treat it like a hobby. Treat it as like your escape, the thing that you do for fun, and just do it with joy. And whatever comes in, comes in. If you can approach it with that energy, it's going to grow much faster, right? Because people are going to pick up on the joy. They're going to pick up on the fact that you love doing it. And you're going to do it without fussing with it too much, without approaching it, oh, how can I make it better? How can I make it bring in money? You're doing it authentically, and then the flow becomes easier. The growth becomes quicker. Okay, Cancer, I also feel that the cards are saying that for some of you, you're needing to create a creative space. We talk a lot about sanctuary in my readings because that comes up a lot, about having a place where you can go and pray and meditate and rest and unwind from the day. But I feel like some of you need to kind of, those of you who have a sanctuary, maybe you need to kind of carve out some time or some space, like some space within that or outside of the home, where you can engage in creative endeavors or creative practices. Okay, some of you might be taking a spot in your home or apartment or studio and making it your little creative space. I also feel, Cancer, that a lot of you are being very guarded about what you're working on, especially those of you that are getting back into creative projects like art or music. You're not sharing it with people. You're keeping it to yourself. because it's a part of your healing, it's a part of your expression. But I feel ultimately many of you in the process are creating some kind of a masterpiece here, and you don't even know it. Okay, I almost wish I didn't say that, because I kind of don't want you to know it, because I feel like I feel like not knowing that you're doing that is kind of adding to the greatness of it, because you're going into it authentically for the love of doing it. Okay. But I really, really feel like some of you are going to surprise yourself and discover talents that you didn't even know that you had, right? This isn't a case of, oh, I've still got it. It's, I've still got it times like a billion. Like, I've still got it, and wow, I've got things I didn't even know that I had. So you're making some magic happen. You're creating some very powerful magical energy in your life, and you're putting something out there that you're going to be very proud of in the long run. So do it from the heart, do it for the sake of doing it, do it for the joy of doing it, and everything else will fall into place. All right, my dears, you might want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than others. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you want to go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. I will have that written out in the description of the video as well. And as always, my dears, I thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Check out the love videos for March if you feel moved to do so. And I'm wishing you all a wonderful week ahead. Bye, my dears.